-21. Definitely winter is here. What do you have to do to make sure that your AK is working in the low temperatures? The good news is you don't need any snake oils or magic greases. Let's talk about it. So the dust cover and optic are off. By the way, I want to show you this. The new from AKOU store, you can get those gasket dust covers. They are extremely useful when you're running suppressed AK, so you don't getting any junk into your face. But let's start with the recoil spring. So we're pulling out the recoil spring, right? I can drop it. We don't need really that now. Now I want to get the bolt and the bolt carrier. First of all, Ula, if you could zoom it in here, make sure you are completely dry on the rails, that there is no any oils, no any grease, whatever you were using to lubricate the AK before the cold, very cold, extreme cold temperatures arrived. That has to be cleaned out, dried out, and it is perfectly fine, guys, for the AK to dry, to run completely dry. There is really nothing will happen if you don't have anything on here. You can have it completely dry AK, you're not going to damage it, it will be perfectly fine. So use the Q-tips, like I got the Q-tips here, swap it, clean it, piece of rag, clean this area out. That will take care of the rails. Now here in the trunnion pieces too, make sure nothing sits here or nothing sits on those locking locks. Remove all the grease. All has to be just basically keep it dry and clean. That's all you want to do. So nothing is on those locks and everything is dry. Now bolt, the same on the bolt, right? The bolt stem, no oil, no grease, no nothing. Clean the whole thing out. Make sure everything here is literally bone dry. You will be perfectly fine. The same goes for the bolt carrier. Nothing in the channel, guys. Don't leave any grease in the channel and don't leave any grease in those slots for the rails, right? You want to get all this cleaned out. If you insist to have some sort of the lubrication, please read the label on the container and make sure that either the oil or grease you're using truly is rated for the extreme cold temperatures. Otherwise, what's going to happen, you're going to see inside the receiver there will be that pieces of the grease especially going start to gumming up, and sometimes you can see the people were using that magic, you know, Navy SEALs and grease, which was not rated for the cold temperatures, and was gunking up and gumming up and creating a complete mess on the rifle components, which had to cycle, right? And they couldn't, because that grease was like little balls and was blocking the movement of the bolt and the bolt carrier, and it was a complete mess. And that led sometimes to the basically freeze up of the action. So avoid that. But if, as I said, if you want to use, you don't have to, you can run AK one more time. I cannot stress this out, completely bone dry. But if you insist on having some lubrication, please make sure that those lubricants are actually rated for the low temperatures. Otherwise, you're going to create only trouble and it's going to be a mess. Also, when you have rifle and you're working with the rifle in the cold temperature, but later on you are coming back to the warm shelter, and whatever it is, shelter from the branches, the tent, whatever it is, but it is warmer inside, what's going to happen? Because of the bare bone metal parts, you will start developing condensation on those parts because of the temperature differences. So you have two choices: either wipe it out, right? Wipe out, make sure again everything stays dry, or make sure that the rifle stays again in the cold temperature. But you know, that would mean that you have to leave the rifle outside the shelter. That's not really sometimes you cannot do that, right? So if you will bring the rifle with you to the warm shelter, make sure you're going to wipe out everything and there is no moisture left, because if you have that moisture from condensation and you will walk out outside the shelter again to the cold temperatures, guess what, everything's going to freeze up, and you may have problems with using the rifle. So basically that's it. Let me know underneath of the video if you have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. The cold weather is not really as bad as you think. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.